What's going on, guys? Nathan here, back again with another Magic video. Today we're going to be looking at one of the face commanders for the upcoming Bloomburrow Precons that we'll be releasing later this fall. It's currently July 9th, 2024, and we are right in the middle of spoiler season, and today we got our hands on all of the face commanders, and today I will be covering Miss Bumbleflower. Now, Miss Bumbleflower is a 4-mana Bant commander, Rabbit Citizen with power toughness 1/5, and this card has the abilities of Vigilance, and whenever you cast a spell, target opponent draws a card. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. It gains flying until end of turn. If this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, you draw 2 cards. Now, we don't know what the full deck looks like at the moment. We know that this is a group hug deck with a +1/+1 counter sub-theme, and I will say that putting a +1/+1 counter on a target creature anytime you cast a spell is indeed a very powerful and abusable ability without any limitations. The major downside here is that every time you are casting a spell, you are giving an opponent a card, which is very bad unless you're looking to make specific political deals to curry favor with the table and avoid a potential negative fate. Now, the great thing is that Miss Bumbleflower has a ton of card advantage attached to her for yourself, and in fact, you can trigger this on each turn, so potentially you can draw up to 8 cards per turn cycle, which is pretty cracked. Again, the downside being that every time you cast a spell, you are giving an opponent a card. And unfortunately, this will trigger off of your second time as well, just straight up every cast. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can brew around Miss Bumbleflower if you don't want to go the group hug route. You can lean heavily into that +1/+1 counter theme by just multiplying the number of counters that you put on your target creatures. You can also take this down a more combo route as well, because if we have a way to cast an infinite number of spells, we can force our opponents to draw their whole decks, and in fact, if we have just a regular 2-card combo like Peregrine Drake or Deadeye Navigator, this combo leads to infinite spellcasts and infinite mana with Peregrine Drake, allowing us to close the game out on the spot. Now, I'm personally not a big infinite combo fan, so I would be leaning more towards the casual side of this card, and with that, we can actually maybe lean into something like combat damage triggers, being that Miss Bloomburrow does give us that flying and evasion. So something like the Indomitable, where we want to be dealing combat damage to draw even more cards, or if you took something like an O'Hare Cast Slam, Deepest Growth, which wants us to deal combat damage to slam big creatures into play. The general gist of this deck would be to take a card that normally would not have a lot of evasion, give it evasion or some sort of flying payoff. You could go down that route for sure. The other way you can lean into this is with +1/+1 counters. So with Armorcraft Judge, we want to be capitalizing on all of the counters that we're putting on our creatures, and any sort of proliferate synergy such as a Tezzeret's Gambit, and then we have the classic Hardened Scales that is found in many +1/+1 counter decks. Up next, we can also take this down a Voltron route as well. One thing I like about Miss Bumbleflower is that she is a 1/5 Vigilance, which means that she has a lot of toughness to help us block. And so if we can simply power up her combat power, then we can actually just have free swings, and also we might want to give her protection of some sort. So something like a Strong Back, which is from the newly released Fallout set, can help us reduce cost of our auras. And if we really wanted to go down the aura route, we can run Mantle of the Ancients, which reanimates all of our auras. And then if you combine that with your standard Enchantress style package, we could be drawing just an absolute butt ton of cards off of those Enchantresses, combined with Mrs. Bumbleflower's card draw trigger. So there's one other way that I thought about brewing this, and that is landfall decks that want to play additional lands on their turns and then turn that into giant creatures into the late games. So when we take a look at Azusa Lost But Seeking, this is a card that really wants you to generate just a crap ton of card draw to combo with the playing additional lands ability. And the weakness of Azusa has historically been that mono green doesn't have a ton of card draw options, and so if you were to take the card draw that we can find in white and blue and combo it with these extra landfall abilities such as Azusa or AC Tyrant of Gyre Strait, you can churn out a ton of mana, and then your top end or late game would be your standard sort of green finishers, such as Avenger of Zendikar, for example, or any sort of landfall payoff. And one other card that has synergy with Miss Bumbleflower that I wanted to mention is Narset, Parter of Veils. Now, Narset can allow us to turn off those additional card draws, although she won't stop that first card draw. If we were to be casting spells during our turn, we would still dish out one card draw to an opponent. However, if you were to be casting spells at instant speed where the opponent that you are choosing has already drawn their first card, that is one way to mitigate those extra card draws. So let me know what you guys think about Miss Bumbleflower down in the comments below. I think she is a semi-interesting commander to build around. She's quite group huggy, so I think this is definitely more of a casual style of commander, and I just think that her card draw that she grants the table is too much of a downside for me to be interested in building her personally, although I do think she has some very cute art, and I think she will appeal to players that want to curry political favor as well. So that is the video, guys. If you liked it, feel free to leave a rating on it and subscribe for more. I will be releasing the rest of the commanders here in the next day or two, so stay on the lookout for that, and hopefully we'll see you all in those videos. Have a good day, everybody.